see the things we need for this DIY. We need, of course, the tumbler tile blocks, the smaller blocks. Of course, we need some paint. I use the cream and the black and maybe later a little bit of pink, but we will see how this will turn out. Of course, we have our container with everything inside. I always have this next to me so I can have everything on hand. Here are my scissors, markers, brushes, pencils, everything I need, Mod Podge, and of course my wood glue. And I use the brand Pattex, but you can use any brand you like. This brand is because it is cheap and I like things that it isn't too expensive. I have here my saucer with an old piece of kitchen towel which is wet to wipe away the glue, which we don't need in our DIY. Of course, these are the main things. I hope you take out your tumbler tile blocks too. And of course, what we're going to make for today, we are going to try to make our, slowly be going into the Christmas season on this channel, because it is an all about Christmas and more channel. So we go slowly into Christmas at least once a week coming period. So we are going to make a snowman, but snowman with a twist. So you see already, we're going to start with the base of the snowman. We're going to make a snowman on one side and a snowman on the other side. They will both be identical, so they have the same measurements. What we're going to do, we're going to take first 2 times 15 blocks. So I have here 15 and I have here 15. What we're going to do, we're going to do some glue on the longest side of the blocks, and we're going to simply roll them together until one piece. So it's very easy. That's why I already lay them down, so you don't have to wait until I counted everything. So just lay 2 times 15 for the first side of your snowman. And this will be the easiest snowman, because this is really not difficult, but we always try to give it a unique way. So number 14 and number 15 is the closure up. What we're going to do, we're going to squeeze it, but we're going to start in the middle, or else everything is popping out. So be careful, just do it this way. And even when it pops out, just lay it down again and just start over. We do the row number 2 is also 15 blocks rolled together like this. And of course, Christmas is not already everyone's cup of tea, so, but don't worry, I still going to make other DIYs also, but it is a Christmas channel and I love Christmas, so I'm so happy that the time is already slowly going that way, but for a lot of people they must not think about it. So that's why I also have some other daily decor and seasonal decor over here, but of course also some Christmas, because they are also, just like me, crazy people who love Christmas. So we're going to wipe away the glue, and of course be sure and feel with your fingers that you have a nice straight line. Give it some pressure and over here, and we're going to give it a couple of minutes rest. So now we take one of the pieces, carefully lay it on the side, do some glue, and that's why we do it always after a couple of minutes, because then we can still adjust our blocks. Place it against here and make sure that everything is fitting nicely, and fill in the open gaps, because now you still can move it a little together, and then you don't have a less on open gaps, because if you have an open gap in between and you don't want to see it, just use some speckle, and I use most of the time wood filler, so it's very easy to resolve. So I'm going to give this at least an hour rest before I'm going to work with it, or else it will break. I'm going to make a second one, because we need the front side, but we also need the back side. Is you ready? Now I also have the 2 rows of 15 for the other side of the snowman, and we leave a space in between. You can do something inside. I'm still not sure what I will do inside. Maybe I will do some greenery, but you can do maybe some pieces for your kitchen, some bakery. You can do anything, because in a moment I show you, you can leave the space as wide as you want in between. You can do a small space and you can do a bigger space, but you see that in a moment. Number 14 and number 15 is the closure up, and we're going to work from within. You see where he is want to pop up, And we're going to very easy squeeze it together, and we're going to do the next row. This will be the last of the big rows, so don't worry. And I hope that even when maybe it's not your thing already, you come back later and maybe then make the snowman if this is not your time. Of course, but a lot of people already are DIYing, because if you want to make a couple of DIYs, maybe as a gift, you can never start too early for Christmas DIYs, I always say. So, because then you are on time. And most of the time, supplies are in this time, especially at Temu or AliExpress, they are cheaper. If you're coming more to the Christmas season, the supplies always get expensiver. So, expensiver. More expensive. How do I get English? So, I'm going to squeeze them this way. So if you want to buy supplies for the Christmas season, you can better buy them when it's hot outside, because then the prices are more low than when you do it in the season. So I always buy them early. And again, we're going to make a nice row, and we're going to squeeze it and let it rest for a couple of minutes again. So also on this one, I'm going to place this on the side. And I'm just lucky that everything stays in place. So if it breaks, don't worry about it. Easily just fix it together again, and then you can easily do the next step, because everyone has the same problem most of the time, that sometimes it just falls apart. We all have that, because wood glue takes a longer time to dry normally. But with hot glue, it's always the trick that it doesn't break. And you don't want, especially when you make your DIYs early, you don't want them that they break in a couple of weeks later, because if you give a present, you don't want that it breaks. So also this one, we're going to give both of them an hour rest. So in the meantime, while these two are drying, I'm going to get my other placemat, and we're going to get, over here, we're going to make 20 sets of 2. So if you're ready, 3, 4, 5. It is really easy, and of course I have to look for that I don't get don't count wrong, because that's something that's not really unfamiliar for me, because sometimes I want to do it too fast, because I don't want to take too much of your time. And you see, this is, and here one set of 2, and the last sets of 2, and then we already have our piece. So what we're going to do is very easy. We're just going to do the longer side with some glue, place it together. You do the longer side with some glue, place it together, and later we're going to squeeze all of them, but just lay them down, and it's so easy to do. It only takes a little of your time. That's the only thing. That's the problem, that the time is always going too fast on my camera. I want to show you everything that I make for everyone who enjoys to see it always step by step. And this way. And I change my mind sometimes along the way, because I have most of the time a DIY in my head, because this was also different in my head than I do it right now. Because first I had one, but I think then you can decorate it with only a couple of things, and maybe you can even, I do 2 blocks wide, but you can even do maybe 3 or maybe 4. But this is maybe the kind of the piece you also can use as an utensil, if I'm correctly, where you can place your spoons and that kind of things inside in your kitchen. You can use it for. You can do, like I said, I love greenery. You can do some greenery inside. You can use as a centerpiece. So you can do everything with it. So now I'm going to take my time, and I'm going to squeeze them and make sure that they have a nice straight line. But I won't bore you with that. I will do that a little faster. So you see already, we have our 4 rows of 5, and we're going to do very easy, some glue over here. We only waited a couple of minutes again because we don't want that it dries in too much. Just do some glue, place it together and this way, and place it over here. And number 5 is the closure up. You're going to very carefully squeeze from within, squeeze over here, make sure that you have a straight line, and then going to press it down to fill in the open gaps. So again, place it over here. We do here the same, just simply some glue, place it against each other and this way. And number 5 is again the closure up. You're going to squeeze from within, then the outside, and make sure that you fill it in. And you see already, because I also show you the things that don't work. Here you see an open piece. Maybe if you turn it, it works a little better. So we're going to look for if this works better than the other side, and it does. Of course, we need to wipe away the glue so you can also see better if there are open gaps. So again, this way. That's always, I always say, you also need to show the mistakes, because there are going always things wrong, especially with my DIYs. So, because I have different things in my head and I really don't know how they are looking like when I make them with blocks. I also recently make some owls. So, and you never know how they will turn out. I made a big one and I made a small one. So if you like, maybe already for a little bit of the coming fall season, you like owls, maybe that's something for you. And I do the last, but you never know how things will turn out. At least I don't know. I'm always very jealous on creators who already have everything already in their head and everything works perfectly. Maybe I am just a clumsy. There's also maybe possibility that I'm not really great in it. So I always make mistakes. So if you make mistakes, don't worry. Everyone makes them. So I'm going to give this also an hour rest. So in the meantime, while our pieces all are drying, I'm going to take some loose blocks. I'm going to take a pencil. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take one block and I'm going to lay it over here. And you see already this one is a little longer. So I want to have one which is the same size. So I'm going to take one block, take it on top of here, because it's the wide as one block. I'm going to get make sure that I have it straight, and I'm going to make a little line. It is always because one of the smaller block is most of the time 3 blocks this way. You see already, I can show it to you better. So you have 3 blocks, and most of the time if you lay them against each other, you see already one block is 3 over this way. And you see I need only 2, I need 1 off, so I need to cut off 1 piece of the block. And I do this 4 times, because I need 1 over here, 1 over here, 1 over here, and 1 over here. Because I also getting a little from the snowman's head also on the side, or else it looks very strange. So that's why I need 4 pieces of a cut off block. So you see already, I have now 4 times the measurement for the sides, and I can easily cut it off. You can do it with a handsaw. Some people have a cutter, but I'm going to do it with my jigsaw. I'm just going to place it in my work table, and I'm just going to just cut it off. It's so easy to do. Only be careful with your fingers. But I think you already know that. So I'm going to cut all 4 of them off. So I have here the 4 little pieces we need, of course, also for the sides. And we need the front side of our snowman's head. And that's very easy. We need 4 times. We're going to place this aside. We need 4 times 3 blocks, not 4 blocks. 3 blocks. And this. And the last row. And we're going to do very easy. Only on the tops we do some glue and we place it together. Of course, I should have done this one first, but you see already, then I want to do it too quick. So that's why a little on the top, a little on this top, and then place it together again, squeeze it, and make sure that you have a straight line. This is already number 3, and we need 4 pieces for the front side and the back side. And we're going to do over here and over here. and we're going to squeeze it. And this way, you see already, he is almost going away. And we're going to let this dry in also. So I have here my 4 pieces of 3, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay some glue on the wider side, and I'm going to place this one on top because I want the front of the head a little wider. So I do here the same over here, and I'm going to place this one over here and squeeze it and make sure that you have a nice straight line. So, and we're going to give this also again a couple of minutes rest before we're going to paint everything. Everything is correctly. You have 2 pieces of this planks, and you have 2 pieces for the front and the back side of the snowman's head, and you have 4 pieces of the side for each snowman side, on each side of course. And I made this smaller blocks, but I was thinking of doing this one on the inside of the side, so I would do it on this over here, but then it would get smaller and smaller to decorate. So I'm going to place them on top of here and not on the inside. That means that my 4 little blocks are a little too small, because then I need 1 full block. But of course we're going to work with this later, so don't throw it away. We are going to paint also 4 total blocks in the black. This will be black, this too will be black, and of course this block will be black, and a little piece of this block will be black. And for the snowman, for the front side, it is just 4 blocks in the black, and the rest will be in the white, or maybe what color you want. So it's very easy, but you see that in a moment. I'm first going to paint it, then I'm going to glue all of them together, because it's easier to paint this way than I have to go inside with the paint, and it's not a really nice side. So you see in a moment what pieces I'm going to paint. I use for my snowman not totally white. I use a little bit of the creamy white because I don't have white in my home. So I'm going to go for the creamy white, and I'm going to go and do the front and of course the sides just in the creamy color, and later I'm going to do the black. So first you can paint everything in the white color. So I take my time for it, don't worry, I won't bore you with that. So I'm going to do this one a little faster. So now I paint this piece in totally in white, and all the other 4 pieces, the smaller ones, I also did in the, this one, I also did all sides in the creamy color. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my black paint, and I'm going to paint this to black, the 4 loose blocks, and of course I'm going to paint this one, but I'm going to only do 4 blocks from the top, 4 blocks in the black and totally around. So it's very easy to do. So you see already around me everything is drying right now. The only thing I need to paint still is of course the eyes, and I'm going to go for my wooden round of half rounds. You see, these are the bigger ones. You can order them everywhere, and you can buy them also everywhere. So I'm going to paint 4 of them, a smaller size of course, in the black color, also in the same schoolboy paint I used for the head. So then I have my eyes, and I did go to my garage and I took out 2 carrots, faux carrots I used for the Easter season. So I'm going to get my knife, and I'm going to cut off a little piece also here, and a little piece, and then I'm going to glue it also, of course, also on his face, and we're going to make a little mouth under it, but this later. Right now I'm going to paint the eyes. So I did lay down 2 pieces of kitchen paper on top of my mat, because I don't want to scratch my piece. So I'm going to look for which side I like the best. So I'm going to choose for this side the front over here, and for this one of course I'm going to look, and this will be on the inside. What I'm going to do, I'm going to place them exactly next to each other, because we need to have them on the same side, because we are going to glue our little top over here. Of course we need, I do one, and then I'm going to do the other one also, and you see already I place them much too close to each other because I can't compare them. So we are going to go a little sideways because this is a little bit too close. Maybe if it works also when I place them on my mat over here, and this one also over here. And if everything is correctly, I'm going to do some wood glue on the side. And I do it on the smallest side. So you see the two double lines in between. But you can do also this side. It really doesn't matter if you choose one side or the other. So I'm going to do some glue in the middle only. And I'm going to place it also in the middle. And I'm going to give it a little bit of pressure over here. And I do it straight, but you can also do it sideways. So it doesn't matter. You can choose anything you like. Of course, I need to go over a little to this side. And I'm going to get this one. I'm going to look for which side is the best. I'm going to make one line over here. And I'm going to place this one also. I have to look for over here in the middle. And I'm going to give some pressure, and I'm going to let this dry in for at least 15 minutes. So now I have the two pieces over here. Now I'm going to get my eyes, and I'm going to place them over. And you can also make them from googly eyes, and you even can paint the googly eyes in the black color. Then you have painted eyes, and you still are making it yourself very easy, because if you are a great painter, just paint them yourselves. Sometimes I try it, but sometimes I take the easy way. So I'm going to do them over here, and I'm going to place them also in the same length as I do the other one. So again, also over here, and I'm going to glue them on top of here. So now I'm going to get my faux carrots, and I'm just going to cut off a little piece over here, and then I'm going to look if I like the size, or maybe I like them a little bit shorter. So I think I'm going to place them next to each other. I'm going to look for that they have the same size, and I'm just going to very easy just go over it and cut them through. And this one also, yes, I have them. And now I'm going to place them and look for if I like the size, of if I think they are a little too long. I think for the size of my snowman, they are a great size. So I'm going to glue them, but a little bit in between the eyes, not totally in between the eyes, but a little under the eyes. And I'm going to do this with some glue from my glue gun, because wood glue would not stick too well. So I'm going to place this over, and I'm going to look for, because I think he needs a little over here. So I'm going to do a little drop of hot glue, and of course I need to wait until he is really warm, but I don't want him too warm, because else he will melt the foam in between. So I'm just going to do a little over here, and I'm going to place my in between, and I'm going to place it over here. And this way, I'm going to try to do it for this way the same, just do a little in the middle. And I'm going to place this one also over here. And I have to make sure that I have it over here, or else here will be crooked. And of course, you can still redo it again. But that's the great about hot glue. You still can easily remove it and do it another time. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my pencil, and now I'm going to very easy with this kind of pencil, a little gray pencil, lightly I'm going to make a mouth, and then I'm going to get my marker and I'm going to make it black. But I take my time for it, because I'm not greatest person who can make nice shapes. So you see already I made the mouth, but of course you can make them any way you like. I'm going to get now my marker, and I'm going to make this one black. So now I have my faces ready. What I'm going to do, because we still need to glue the sides on here, so we're going to place two of them over here, And we're going to place 2 of them over here, or else our snowman can't lay down. And then I think I need 3 for the nose. And now I hope that he stays in place. He still is not high enough. Maybe I should have done the nose a little later before I did glue the rest. So we will see. And he still is not, he's still not high enough. Oh my, this is not really smart. I should have done, so do everything except the nose before you're going to glue it. So I'm going to place this over here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my 4 sides over here. And I'm going to look which is fitting the best over here. Maybe you have to change it. You can place it over here. Just work your way, and we're going to place 2 of them over here and this way. And we're going to let this dry in also before we're going to do the rest. So I'm going to get my sides and I'm going to do some glue, of course, over here. Make a thin line over here. And I'm going to place this on top in a straight line with the rest. And don't worry about the paint, because the paint we are going to do later. And again, make sure that the underside is straight. That's what you want. We do here the same. Make a line of glue over here. And we're going to place this one on top of here. And again, make sure that the underside is straight. And we're going to squeeze it. And we're going to feel with our fingers so we have it in a nice line. So, and we're going to let this dry in. So now we do the line over here on this side. And we do the line over here. And we're going to place, of course, our snowman on this side over here. Be sure that you have it in the spot you need to have it over here. And make sure that he's not sticking over. And we're going to give it a little bit of pressure. And we're going to let this dry in for a half hour. And here you see also the mess behind the scene. Because I needed something to give some pressure, but I also needed to take care of the nose. So, but everything is dried and I can take it off. And you can see how easy our paint cans you can use. So we're going to place this one straight up. And you were already thinking, now we're going to place the smaller blocks. And we're going to place them in between over here. You can do a double up I'm looking for, because this is coming out a little, for me, a little strong. So I think, because I have extra, I think I'm going to double it up and I'm going to place them this way over here. So I'm going to do a little glue in the middle. So very simple, in the middle only. And I'm going to place this one and this one. I'm going to squeeze it. Make sure that we have a nice straight line. And we do here the same. Squeeze it. And we give it a couple of minutes drying, and then we're going to glue them in between over here. Oh, you see already, I don't even see it because I see it in my camera. He has a block already on his head. You already saw it and I didn't already see it. So I'm going to wait a couple of minutes, then we're going to glue this in between. So I'm going to let the in-betweens dry, and for everyone who is already really waking up, they already did see that I have 2 over. I don't know how it happened. That's why you can really see that I make my DIY up when I'm going to work with it, and I don't do it in front because you see already I have 2 pieces over, but it doesn't matter because we need a stand. So we're going to do it easy. We're going to look for which is fitting the best. So I'm going to make a line over here. So just make all the pieces and you already have immediately also the bottom. So don't worry about it. You're just going to squeeze this one together, and we're going to let this dry in for at least a couple of minutes. And now we're going to get 6 blocks. for one sign, because I'm going to make one sign over here and one sign over here, because it's a double-sided snowman. So we're going to do very easy. Do one over here. We do one over here and one over here. So we already have one sign, but of course we need on two sides because we have a double snowman. So we do again some on the side and on this side and on this side. And I'm going to go to my garage and I'm going to get my wooden ladders, but you can use any ladders. You also can do some sticker ladders on top of here. You can ride it. If you are a great rider, you can just make the ladders on top. I'm going to use my wooden ladders. So I'm going to let this dry in before we're going to glue all of them together until one side. And this, so we're going to let this dry in. So now we're going to do some glue on the tops. Over here. We do some glue over here and place them together. We do here the same and here the same. And then we're going to make one little stand out of it, and we do also with this 3 and fill in the open gaps because it's easy now to do. Again, wipe away the glue. So I'm going to give this also a couple of minutes drying and then we're going to paint it. So I'm going to paint the underside totally in the black right now, and of course this too I'm going to do in the cream. And the ladders, I have here my wooden ladders. I'm going to do them also in the black color. I'm keeping everything a little bit in the black and white, but you can choose any color as you like. Go as crazy as you like. So I'm going to paint all of them right now, but I won't bore you with that. So before I'm going to glue my snowman on top of here, I'm going to do some fills under it. So very easy in the corners, so I'm sure that nothing is scratching my table. So we do over here and over here, and you can do, of course you don't have to do it if you don't want to. It's also fine too, but I always do it for certainty. You never know. And this way I'm going to place it over here. What I'm going to do right now, I'm going to turn over my snowman and I'm going to do some glue on the underside. So, and I try to do it in the inside of the snowman as much as I can, because we don't want the glue running out too much. So I hope that I have it over here and that it will stick nicely. I'm going to turn it over and I'm going to place it in the middle over here. And I'm going to give it some pressure. And I'm going to let this dry in, at least also for a couple of minutes. So the snowman is drying with a paint can on top, and I have here my 2 pieces of the signs, which will be a sign. I'm going to place in the letters J, O, and of course the Y. So I'm going to do on each one, we're going to do the same word. Of course you can choose for something else. So I'm going to look for where I want to have them over here. I hope that on each one will be a one letter over here. So this way I'm going to glue it. I'm going to get my wood glue and I'm going to do some glue over here. Of course I want to have it a little bit to the middle and this way, and I'm going to place it on the top, but of course within the sign. This is one. We're going to do the letter O, of course, a little glue over here, and we're going to place this one over here. And now we only need the letter Y over here, and we're going to place this also in the middle. And we're going to let this dry. I'm going to do the other one also, but a little faster. So you see already, now we have our 2 cute little signs. I know you see them backwards. Don't worry, later you will see them in the right way. It's just my camera. I'm going to have 6 little balls, half wooden beads. You see, and I'm going to paint them black, but you can paint them in any color, and I'm going to use them kind of a buttons. They are the same as the one for the eyes, only the smaller size. So I'm going to make them black, and I'm going to glue them on top of our snowman, and then we're going to glue our signs on top of here. But this is the last we need to paint, and then we are finished. So I'm going to get my word joy, and I'm going to do some glue on the underside over here. And I'm going to place it on this corner. I hope you can see it. And I place not totally at the ending, but a little bit over here. So I'm going to get it in place for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to do the other side, but then of course in the other direction. So I'm going to glue this, and the last thing I'm going to do 3 buttons over here, and that's what we're going to do. And you see in a moment the quick impression how we really turned out. I know I told you again we are going to do the quick impression, but I was missing something on the other side, and I don't like it the way it is left open. What I'm going to do, I'm going to get my blocks, and I'm going to make two, and I need another one, 2 blocks. This way I'm going to glue them because I don't like it. So I make a little kind of a planter where we can do a little Christmas tree inside. So I show you in a moment what I mean, but first we're going to glue this in pieces of 2 so we can make a nice little crate for next to the snowman on the other side, because I don't like it. Really don't. And now you already also make a little kind of a crate on the side. So now we're going to make a little box out of it. We do some glue on one side. We're going to glue this one together. We do some glue over here. And we place this one in the inside. And now we do some glue on this side and on this side. And we make sure that everything is fitting nicely in between until one kind of a square. So very easy. Just make the shape inside of it and let it dry for at least 10 minutes. Now I'm going to make our little container black, and I'm going to glue it on the side of my snowman, because then I can do a little Christmas tree inside, or maybe some Christmas greenery. You can choose for yourself, but of course, it is so easy to make, and you just make a nice display on the side of your snowman. And now you see really the quick impression.